Good morning, folks. Brother Cross here at BJC Outdoors. Hey, we're down here on Tennessee River this morning. Gonna do a little dragging, man. Excited about this morning. I got one skipjack and about 10 bluegill. Skipjack's still hard to get, man, in my area. It ain't nothing's gonna change until it cools off. They're hard to get anyway because of the circumstances of being over harvested. But anyway, we're gonna drag 4 planer boards this morning. I'm gonna put skipjack on the outside and bluegill down the middle. See what happens. I do have a big, it's a big skipjack. I should be able to get 4 pieces of bait out of it. We're dragging in a area. It's not ideal conditions, and it ain't exactly where I wanted to drag this morning. But the conditions, man, the wind's whooping. It's supposed to be 1 to 2 mile an hour out of the northeast, and of course it's blowing straight down the river out of the east at about 20. So at least it ain't gusting. It's staying consistent 20, so we should be okay. I'm hoping. Gonna be pulling 0.7 starting out. That's been the speed for me everywhere else I've been on the lake. So we're gonna start out with that and see what happens. Well, I'm gonna get these out. Y'all stay tuned. We'll keep my planer boards kind of tucked in. I'm not gonna let them out too far. I'm pulling specific spots, and they're short drags. Maybe 200 yards, and then if I catch one, I'll come back through. If not, we'll move on to another spot. I'm gonna keep them tucked in pretty close, because like I said, if I get too wide, I'll be off of my spot. I may have to change my clips out on my planer board because we're pulling into the current and into the wind, and it may start trying to knock my planer boards off my line. So I may have to end up changing my clips on them. But we're gonna start out with what we got right now first. All right, folks, we locked and loaded. We're pulling in about 35 foot of water. I'm dragging with 1 ounce weights. That's all I need, man. I've never drag anything heavier than I have to have. I've tried dragging with a bigger weights, 3 ounce, 4 ounce. Seemed like I stayed hung up a lot more. Lost a lot of them. Seemed like I get more bites with a lighter weight. I don't know if it makes a difference or not. I did catch plenty of fish with the heavier weights, but like I said, I don't like to get hung up. Them dragging weights are not cheap. But in my area, especially on this lake, that's about as heavy as I use. Now, some deeper lakes I fish, I do go up to a 2 ounce. But usually 2 ounces is about as heavy as you're gonna catch me dragging. Had a barge just come through as soon as I got my lines out. Hopefully it won't knock my boards off. Pretty rough out here today, man. I mean, it is what it is. You think I'd be used to these conditions and quit complaining about it, but seems like it always happens. I seen the wind direction and the speed this morning. I thought, man, it's consistent with what they said yesterday. 1 to 2 mile an hour. It was actually calm at some point last night, they said. Then you get out here and it's blowing 15, 20 down the river. But it is what it is. All you can do is all you can do. But we're in a good area. I think we pick up something here. It's not the exact spot that I wanted to fish, start out fishing this morning, but we're gonna start out here, and like I said, as the day morning progresses, we'll get out there, a little further out in the areas that I want to fish. It's always a good place to pick up a good starter fish. Very high pressured right here. A lot of people fish here. Get in here early and get out of here early, because Hellraiser, he'll be on his way here shortly. Probably gonna be the end of my drag right through here. Boat coming through here at Mach speed with a 10-foot wave behind him. Pretty sure it's gonna knock my boards off. Luckily it didn't knock my planer boards off, so we got about maybe 50 yards left. We'll move on to plan B. All right, folks, we moved up to a different spot in the same area. I don't even know if y'all heard anything on that last fish. Man, I looked, my mic was off, so I don't know how long that's been going on. But anyway, we're starting out here in a different area. I've drugged this back in the spring in a post spawn. It was real good. I hadn't drug it since. But it's got some shells on it. It's pretty deep. Kind of the ditch runs through here, about 15 foot deep. We're gonna run 2 right down the middle of the ditch, and then 2 on the outside of it. So a lot of stumps in here. It's basically dragging stump beds, what it is. Stump fields. It's just where all this used to be woods, and they flooded the river, and now it's just stumps out here. But probably gonna get hung up some, but that's all right. You know, sometimes that's what you got to do to catch fish. But we're gonna drag this and see. That place down there, man, it's kind of done fizzled out. For the day anyway. It's it's an early morning spot, most likely, and I think I'm getting. Then got on a stump right there, I believe. Like I said, it's hard to drag this area right here, but some fish do sit up in here sometimes. Supposed to be cloudy all day, but as you can see, it's not cloudy. Had to break out the old buff. It's just a Bermuda Triangle, man. The hardest place I've ever tried to fish is in this area right here. I got one piece of skipjack's all I got left. I thought I was done using it all. Still dragging that same head we started with this morning. I don't think I've caught anything on the head, but everything else, that's got a skipjack head, and everything else has got bluegill on it. Oh, there we go, folks. Ah, man. Yep, that's a good fish right there, I believe. Yep, that's a heavy fish. Dragging through these stumps. It's hard to determine when you get a bite, but come on, don't get that other line. Yeah, that's a good fish right there, I believe. Definitely the biggest one of the day so far. Yep, that's a good one right there. I don't think it's no monster fish, but it's a good one regardless. You gonna come around here on the side of the net some? No, I don't think you're going to. You ain't done fighting either, are you? Hey, don't do that. Don't do that. I can't see how you hook. And that. Golly. Yep, that's a good fish right there. Sure enough. them constantly. I'll tell you what. You get them hooked in the right spot, they are not coming off. I hear you, girl. I'm trying to work with you. Alright, folks. That's a good fish right there. Good healthy fish, too. I think that's a female. Well, alright, girl. Get you back. I sure appreciate you. I had one. Don't do it. Don't do it. I felt her. I felt her tensing up. I know she was fixing to do something loony. Well, all right, man. That's awesome. We just started here. Just got them all out. Got that one. I believe we're gonna knock this one off the flanger board. On bluegill. Bluegill head. Oh, there goes another folk. Oh man, that come off. I think. Man, that was a good one too. That one right there is big enough. It made a sandwich. That's the size bluegill head we're using right there, folks. Big, pretty big baits. Tell you what, that sun comes out, it gets hot. I was looking forward to a cloudy day, which it's rained back that way. That's just sporadically popping up here and there. But I wasn't expecting the sun to come out at all. Move back here in the back now. The wind's not blowing so hard anymore. Won't be so far from my rods. It's always fun fishing these stump rows, man, because your bait just about gets hung up on a stump. Then when it jumps off of it, usually when you trigger a bite, and it's kind of crazy, you know. It's almost like you catching catfish the same way you would, you know, catch a bass. But you know, they're aggressive. If they're up shallow, they're aggressive, and they hang around them stumps because of course that's where the bait fish and the, you know, bluegill and stuff like that hang around. You got crawfish, you know, and under the roots of them stumps. It's just I call it stump jumping. It's not something I do a whole lot, and it gets aggravating because you will get hung and you will break off. You know, and you have to keep a check on your hook because they come across them stumps and they got shells on them. When you get hung, it can dull your hook. But like I said, when you jump that stump, if you get hung up, you know, and when it does come loose, if it comes loose, a lot of times it'll trigger a bite. There we go, folks. There's another one. Another good fish. That one just rubbed across the stump. And I was waiting for it to get hung, and then it took off. That's another good one. That's the second hit I've got on the inside board. Usually it's my outside ones, but sometimes they'll get on that inside board. I got them pretty good way from the boat. Hang on. I ain't seen this one yet. Yeah. That fish must have just came up because it blowed out bubbles there. It shouldn't have no bubbles in it up this shallow. It probably just came up here out of the deep. That'll be another good fish. And I'm tickled to death with that, man. Just being able to check a spot I ain't fished in months, and they're here. So this gives me something else to look forward to when I can come out here. And I sure appreciate y'all being calm. All right, folks. Nice fish. That's a male right there. You can tell. Pretty good sized head on him. Up here feeding on these shells and shad around these stumps. Like I said, most people don't fish this area because it's so snaggy. I mean, you can anchor up here and throw out lines and still take a chance on getting hung because it's that bad. But I'll fish it. I'm not scared to get hung. That's one reason, folks, I use them light dragging weights, because you try to drag a 3 or 4 ounce weight through this stuff, ain't no way you'll get hung ever. You'll be tying on more than you'll be fishing. Well, all right, man. They wearing out that bluegill. So you kind of got to use the bait that's already in the area. And I know there's bluegill up in here around these stumps and eating these shells. There's sporadic shell beds in here. So I know they're in here eating them. We're out there in that main channel. You just about gonna do better with skipjack, which I don't have, so I'm going where they're eating what I got. And so far they're eating it. And I've caught them on heads, I've caught them on tails. Just, it don't matter. If you pull that in front of a hungry fish, he can get his mouth on it, he'll eat it. I don't know if that one. Yeah, he's on there. Man, I thought he knocked the planer board off and come off. Oh man, you come off. Man, that was a good one right there, folks. That was a good one. Man. I stumbled on that one. I'm still letting this one out. I stumbled on it. If I hadn't been jacking around with that one, I'd caught this one. But can't get them all. But man, I sure wish we could. You know, I don't feel like there's a whole bunch of big fish up here. You know, I'm talking 60, 70, 80 pounders. But there are some in here, I know. But you'll catch, you know, a lot of 30, 40, 50 pounders, you know, hanging around in these stumps. I've done this years ago, back when I used to catfish, before I got out of catfishing. And but you know, we didn't even have planer boards back then. We just drug through them. But you know, when that bait comes across the stump, you know, your rod look like it's finna get hung, and then all of a sudden it'll pop off of it when it sits back down on the bottom. That's usually when a catfish will get it. You know, it's certain times of year you can do it. You know, this time of year, you know, these big flats, stump flats, are full of bait, full of bluegill, full of shad. You know, white bass. They just all kind of stuff up here for them to eat. So if you if you can jump that stump, man, you catch one. Not all the stumps are gonna have one. Gonna have fish on them, but you know, every time you bump one, you expect expectations go real high because you waiting for it to come back down and get that bite. We're gonna drag just a little bit further, probably another 100 yards, and probably gonna get out of here. I got to get my grass cut this evening, and so I can come back out. I'm coming back out in the morning, and I may come back here and start here if I can. Like I said, I hadn't fished this probably since March. I've been lucky. I hadn't lost any baits today, but it's bound to happen. You know, these fish don't just come up here and stay in this shallow water. You know, they're up here to feed. So once the feeding time's over, you know, they'll feed through the night, or they'll move up in the morning and feed. Once that's over, they'll move back out in the channel. That's why you see a lot of fish out in the channel, but they won't bite, because they done come up here and got full in the shallow water and move back out there. Now they'll move back up, you know, probably this evening or tonight, or possibly in the morning, to feed again. You know, it's not that far out there to the channel. You know, but they'll move up here. You know, because this is where most of the bait is. You know, but once that bite's over, like this morning, you know, you hit them pretty good there for a minute, then you know they shut down. But if I could have got here first thing this morning, could have fished this area through here first thing, you know, we would have had an awesome trip before it got too hot and they moved back out. But it's not really the temperature, because it don't change right now. It's not changing much as far as the water temperature. But once that sun starts getting higher, and you know, if it stayed cloudy, this would be on fire. But since the sun's came out, you know, of course they're gonna move back out to deeper water, because it's kind of like in the morning when the sun comes up, they start heading back out deep. All right, folks, we're finna get ready to wrap this one up, man. It's done got hot late in the morning, and the bites done shut down. I've drug about, I don't know, 300 yards without a bite. I got one little nibble, and that was it since that last fish. But anyway, it's a pretty good morning, man. We started out, you know, kind of slow, but we ended up finding some fish. But that area down there is kind of dead right now. So I come up here to Plan B and checked it, and of course they're here. But like I said, I found them late. But next time I'm out, if I'm on this lake, this will be the first stretch I hit. And I think we can pick up some good fish and more of them. But anyway, I appreciate y'all taking the time out of your day or night watching the video. I want to say thanks to all my subscribers, man. I appreciate each and every one of you. I really do. I'll catch y'all on the next one. I'll see y'all then, and God bless you.